Conversation I've been looking forward to all morning now. Keep the music playing. Keep our learners' dreams alive. That's the call being made by the Morris Isaacson Music Centre in Soweto, which has taught hundreds of children in that community over the last decade. Now, after months of lockdown, the centre is preparing to open its doors again from Monday. Now, some one-on-one lessons will take place with certain social distancing involved, but its online teaching for other students and instruments will continue. Now, the centre has also launched a fundraising campaign. To tell us more about that and the amazing work the centre is doing, we're joined by their newly appointed ambassador, none other than one of South Africa's top singers, Zolani Maholamore. But let's take a listen to what the centre is a little bit more about. That's just the taste of the work being done on a daily basis by the team at the Morris Isaacson Music Centre. Of course, those are kids of different ages, different levels of playing their instruments. We've heard of many students there going on to study at some of the best music schools here in South Africa, as well as the world on scholarship as well. So you get it all there. Let's invite on now Zolani Maholamore, live via Skype from Cape Town. You'll all know her as a well-known singer, formerly with Freshly Ground, now a successful solo career. She's an actress, she's a transformational speaker, and the list goes on. Zolani, thank you so much for joining us this morning. How has the last few months treated you and your family?
You know, in terms of me and my family, it's been amazing. It's been really wonderful because, you know, as you say, you know, formerly I was with Freshly Ground and ended my time with them at the end of 2019, and we had such a wonderful career of playing all over the world, you know, and I was hardly ever at home, really. So it's been an amazing thing for both my husband and I to be with the kids. It's really strengthened our family, and it's been an interesting time as well, introspectively, in terms of figuring out what I really want to do in my life.
Well, one of the things we know that you really like to do is to get involved, and that's what you've done at the Morris Isaacson Music Centre. You've just recently been announced as their new ambassador. We got a taste of the daily work being done under normal circumstances, normally, by the team there. Tell us why you've decided to get involved at this level with the centre.
The reason I become involved is that, you know, for me, one of the things that have become clear for me is that childhood, the time of childhood, is so important. It's such an important time in terms of our development as human beings. And art plays such an incredible role in terms of opening up the individual, you know, and really like helping you to figure out who you are, helping you become more independent, more of a creative thinker. And these are all things that the kids at the Morris Isaacson Centre for Music in Soweto experience, you know, and this is all feedback that parents have given, this feedback that, you know, their alumni have given. You know, it really makes a big difference in terms of their trajectory later in life.
And something that we've heard time and time again, art is always important, but during the time that we're living through now, we all need those in the art world to express themselves so that we feel that we're reflected in that. And the artists themselves need their craft so that they can express themselves going forward. And I've seen, because I follow the centre on social media, this pandemic didn't stop them from expressing themselves through their instruments. And that really has been astounding, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. I mean, they have really kept a connection to their students, and because you must remember, these are kids in Soweto, and as you know, in so many of our townships, there are many ills, that really affect a child, in terms of whatever, as basic as distractions and as corruptible as gangsterism, as drugs, as the specter of abuse and all kinds of things. And what the centre does, and what the connection to the centre does, that it gives a space of reprieve and a sense of safety, and a sense of people and these kids being heard. So they've really managed to keep that connection going all throughout the pandemic with their students, and that's been invaluable.
Absolutely invaluable, but it hasn't been easy. I mean, the school is preparing to open, at least for some of its face-to-face lessons, from Monday, but only within the confines of what social distancing allows. And they've started a fundraising effort to ensure that those doors can stay open and they can continue to give this invaluable a source of expression and a reprieve, like you say, to that community. What is needed? What can people do if they want to help out?
So I think the very first thing that you can do is you can educate yourself about the centre. Go to their website. It is www.micm.org.za. That's, of course, stands for Morris Isaacson Centre for Music. And you can see all their programs. You can find out all about them. So as you say, they have a crowdfunding campaign that is going right now, and it's called #KeepTheMusicPlaying. And how you can support is you can simply make a donation, a monthly donation, sign up for a month. That can be 250, 500 Rand a month, 1,000 Rand a month, or gosh, anything that you can. And you can also sponsor an individual child, for sure. And you can also sponsor a whole ensemble. And of course, all of these are tax deductible donations. So it's it's not only to your benefit in terms of knowing that you're making a difference in a child's life, and therefore in the community's life, therefore in the nation's life, therefore in the world's life, but you can also benefit in terms of the tax rebate.
And it's so true. We keep talking every day about what people need to put food on the table, but this is also so desperately needed in so many of our communities, just to keep our hearts and minds going as well. Speaking of which, before I let you go, what is Zolani listening to at these times where we look at taking a reprieve from the hard times of lockdown, and we perhaps look to the spring and hopefully a new and fresher start for everybody?
What am I listening to? Do you mean in terms of music, Marcel?
Yes. What are you singing in the kitchen with your kids?
I tell you what, I'm actually not listening to a lot of music. I'm creating a lot of music. This has been one of the gifts of this time, is that it's really sharpened my focus in terms of what it is that I want to produce into the world. This is my first year being a solo musician. I still haven't released a solo body of work, but I've been working on one. And that has been such a wonderful journey in itself. So I've been working on my first release, and that'll be out towards the end of this year.
Well, that's something great to look forward to. Thank you so much for that. Zolani Maholamore, one of South Africa's top singers. She's working on something new and, more importantly, getting involved at the Morris Isaacson Music Centre, where she's the ambassador. Their campaign, #KeepTheMusicPlaying, to raise funds so that they can continue to provide, to keep the music playing in Soweto and those kids who need it the most. So do go onto their social media platforms to find out how you can make a contribution.